Hi everyone, this is Mary Jane, and today I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to reduce the poly count for hairs in The Sims 3. So, I've linked you to some stuff you need to follow this tutorial and assume you're all set up to follow this. So I'm not going to cover how to install all that. Okay, I've made a folder where I have everything I need for this tutorial. I'm going to put it right here. And the first thing you need is obviously the hair you want to reduce in the poly count. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this with S3PE and I'm going to export the files that I need for this tutorial. So the first thing you need is actually the texture, the diffuse. It might depend on the hair file you're using where it is, but it's always here in the image text. So if you located it, export it to file and go to the folder you want to save it in. Second thing you need is, well, the meshes, which are the geom files here in the file you opened in S3PE, the package file. So it might depend on the hair which one of the geoms you need. If it has 4 geoms, you need the highest one, that's the highest lot. But if it has 6, like this, it means there are actually 2 empty meshes in it. So as you could see, the first one loaded very, very fast, so that isn't a lot we need. Usually it's the second one. So if we click on that, you're going to notice it takes a lot longer to load. That's because how higher the poly count of the hair is, how longer it takes to load it here in the S3PE. So once it's loaded, you're going to right click it, click on export, go to file and export it to your folder, your work folder. Okay. It might be so that you're confused which file you need. If that happens, it isn't a problem to just export them all. So click the highest one, shift click the lowest one, and just export them all to the folder. So now you're sure that you exported the one you need. You're just gonna sort it here by size. I've already sorted it by size, and then you need the highest size one because that's the highest lot, and we're gonna work with that. So once you're all set up here, you're gonna open Blender. Okay, once Blender is loaded, you're gonna see the start screen, which has all the stuff you actually don't need. So just click it, click delete, click and delete. First thing we're gonna do is we're actually gonna import the meshes for the bodies. So you're gonna go to File, you're gonna go to Import, Wavefront Object, and navigate to where you have put the meshes for the bodies and the face and that sort of thing. Why it is important that you import these is because you can see when it actually starts clipping or something. If you don't do this, you might not see if you reduce the hair that it starts clipping in the scalp or something. So, okay, now we have the face and the scalp. For short hairs, that is enough, but I usually also import the body because with longer hairs you can also see if it starts clipping there. Okay, so now once you have the bodies all set up, you're going to import the mesh for the hair. So you're going to navigate to the folder you put the meshes in, sort by size, and pick the highest lot one. Okay, so now we have the mesh here, but as you can see, it doesn't have any textures, which isn't optimal if you try to reduce it, because you actually want to see what it does to the textures. So we're going to go to shading. Click on it. You can zoom in a bit if you like that, and click on new. Go back to the folder where you've put all the stuff you need. Click on the diffuse and drag it into Blender. Once you have it here, connect color to base color and connect alpha to alpha. So we're going to see you have all these black streaks in it. We don't want that, so we're going to go to material properties, that red circle here, click on it, scroll down, enable backface culling, and turn it into alpha blends. As you can see, it's now textured. When you go back to layout, You see, the texture is gone again. So you're gonna go to the little arrow here, click on texture, and as you can see, the hair is textured now. Before you do anything else, please turn on backface culling because that's actually really important, especially if you start to reduce hairs. When I first started out, I didn't know that was an option, so I made a lot of mistakes because I forgot to turn it on. I will get to that later, why it's so important. For now, as I said, show the texture and put on backface culling, and you now have a textured hair in your blender. So, still, we're going to stay in object mode for reducing the poly count. What you're going to do is you're going to go to modifier properties over here. Go to add modifier, then to decimate. So, now you can see what the poly count is here. As you can see, this one is 17.5K, which is compared to EA hairs, it's actually pretty high, but compared to other custom content hairs, it really isn't that high because a lot of those go up to 30K nowadays, sometimes even higher. So, okay, to reduce it, you need to adjust the ratio here. What you can do is you can drag to reduce it. As you can see, you see it there, the stuff happening there, so that's why we want the texture. But what I usually do is I actually go in steps because I prefer that. It usually gives better results. So instead of just going down to, let's say we want to go to 10K in one step, which for this hair surprisingly actually works, but usually you want to do small steps. Instead of doing that, I'm gonna do by 0.8 or 0.9, depending on the hair. You can also do 0.85, whatever you like. But we're gonna do 0.8 now. I'm gonna press enter, and you're gonna see it's now reduced to 14K, and you can see there's also stuff happening here. So you see a crook texture here, starting a little bit of shadows on the ponytail. If you click on this, you can see the difference of what happened with the reducing. So as you can see, some textures got a little bit crooked, and there are some shadows on the fringe. I said ponytail on the I'm sorry, I meant the fringe. So the shadows that you see here, I've seen them often in Blender. Usually you don't see them in game. These type of things you do see in game, but before we freak out over it, we're just gonna apply. We're gonna do a step again. I'm gonna do 0.8 again, and you see the crooked texture actually disappeared. So sometimes you just want to go a step further, or just adjust the bar by dragging it a little bit to see if it gets any better. So okay, 0.8, yes, yeah, that's good. I'm gonna apply, and we're gonna do it again. Let's say we want to go to 10K, so it's actually a lot lower. So I'm gonna just drag it to 10. So I think that's what I did for my reduced version on that I shared on my Tumblr. As you can see, this hair responds very well to it. It's still very pretty, almost no crook textures. A little bit here on the fringe, but it's just good. So you have now let it drop by 7.5K, which is a lot. If you have done that and you think your work is good and you're good to go, you're gonna export it and save it in the folder or wherever you want to have it, and you can just export it. And now I recommend naming it, by the way. I didn't do it now because just a tutorial, but you now have your reduced poly count mesh. So that is the first part of this tutorial. This is how you do it when the hair cooperates and is easy to work with. But not every hair is easy to work with, so we're also going to cover that. So I'm going to see you in part 2. Thanks for watching.